Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about different types of situations where it asks you, the question's always going to ask you which equation can be used to solve it, so it doesn't ever ask you to actually solve anything, it asks you which equation. So y'all should, these types of questions should look familiar where you have an equation as your answer choice and you never actually have to solve it because your answer choices are just which equation can I use to do this. So this video is going to be a little bit different than the ones you've done in the past in that I'm going to ask you to first try to solve all of these problems by yourself. Then I'm going to tell you the answers to the problems. And then at the end of the video, so after I've shown you the answer to each of them, after all of that, that's when I'm going to explain each question. So that way, if you got a question right and you really understand that question, you don't have to listen to that question's explanation. You can fast forward through that part when you get to that part of the video. So this will be a two-part video more than likely. So this is the first part and there'll be a second part. So first things first, we're going to read this question. Sam can type 280 words in 8 minutes. If Sam continues to type at the same rate, which equation can be used to find n, the number of words he can type in half an hour? So what I want you to do is go ahead and pause the video, pick your answer, and try to make sure that you understand why. So pause the video now. Hello. So your answer for this one is B. 280 over 8 equals n over 30. And if you didn't understand that problem, that's okay. We're going to go through and explain it. If you're wondering where the 30 came from, though, you know that 30 comes from half of an hour is 30 minutes. And we had to convert that to minutes to set it into the portion, because otherwise I couldn't use a proportion if it's not the same units. So let's do the next problem. If you got this one wrong, remember there'll be an explanation for this at the end of the video. I want to make sure you understand why. So the next problem says, Pedro works at the local car wash and earns $90 for a 15-hour week. Which of the following equations can be used to find his earnings, E, if he works a 20-hour work week? So you're going to try to pick the equation that you think is going to work for this situation, and then I will show you the answer. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, welcome back. So the correct answer here would have been C. You notice A and B were the same answer. That was not on purpose, but that wasn't the correct answer, so it didn't matter. The correct answer would have been C. So if you didn't understand why C was the correct answer, you'll have your explanation for that after the next example. So let's look at the very last example before we start explanations. Here we go. Alberto earns $78 for working 6 hours. Which equation can be used to find the number of dollars, D, that Alberto earns in 9 hours? And we have 4 choices here. So go ahead and pause the video now, and work this one, and then unpause it to see what the answer is. So go ahead and pause the video now. So the correct answer for this one is D, and so if you didn't get that right, you can listen to the explanation now. So we're going to start the explanations right now. So I'm going to actually work backwards because I'm already on this page, and we'll start the next video as soon as we run out of time, so you'll have to go to the other video for the other ones. But we'll start with this problem. So if we look at this problem, it says Alberto earns $78 for working 6 hours, which equation could be used to find the number of dollars that Alberto earns in 9 hours. And we have one proportion as a choice, and then the other ones are multiplication on both sides, and then addition on both sides. Well, regardless, I can tell this is a proportional relationship. The reason I can tell is because I'm comparing money to hours and then money to hours. So regardless of what the correct choice is, I'm going to want to set up a proportion, and when I set up my proportion, I want to know which two things I'm comparing. So I am comparing money to hours that I worked. So I'm going to set up a proportion one way or another. So for the first part, it says Alberto earns $78, that's my monies, for working 6 hours. That's the number of hours I worked. So we're going to set up that first part of our proportion by putting $78 monies over 6 hours. So I've got my first part of my proportion set up. Now I need to set up the second part of my proportion, because in order for it to be proportion, it has to be 2 equivalent ratios. And you're going to have to go to the next video to get the rest.